Let's move over to the hate list here, Jay. Rhamondre Stevenson headlines this against the Bengals. And, I mean, it's as simple as this. The Patriots have the lowest implied team total in Week 1. No Drake May yet. A questionable offensive line at best against a good team in the Bengals.
Yeah, absolutely. Implied team totals 15.5 at Cincinnati. It's obviously going to be the Jacoby Brissett show for better or worse in Week 1. And now, look, you can focus on the fact that the Bengals, last year, they didn't have a very good run defense. Rhamondre is largely unopposed in that backfield. But I think this is just a game script play, really. Like, they're going to have to presumably throw to keep up with Joe Burrow. And Rhamondre, I mean, he's going to be touchdown dependent, I think.
Matthew, is the best hope for Rhamondre in this one is that they're trailing and he gets a lot of dump-off passes from Jacoby Brissett?
Obviously, Connor, yeah, I agree with Jay. That's the hope here is you hope Rhamondre Stevenson, if you're having to start him, you hope he falls into the end zone. You hope that we expect them to be trailing, so you're hoping that he's involved in the passing game. But this is one of the concerns that I have about Rhamondre Stevenson, and it's one of the reasons why he was on my preseason hate list. How much is he going to be used in the passing game? Remember, last year, 45% of his fantasy points came from receptions. Well, the Patriots added Antonio Gibson, who is a really good pass-catching running back. And so if they're trailing, if they're in, hurry-up offense, pass offense, is it Rhamondre or is Antonio Gibson out there? By the way, even if they are, how effective will they be? It's worth noting that last year the Bengals were top 10 in the NFL in terms of fewest reception and fewest receiving yards allowed to opposing running backs. So it's a really good defense. Those linebackers play well. I'm nervous about Rhamondre Stevenson. I'm outside my top 25 this week.
How about DeAndre Swift against the Titans here, Matthew? He's coming off a career low in target share last season, and let's call it like it is. This Bears offense is really, really crowded right now in a good way.
It is. And Swift could have an awesome game. Look, they paid him in a big way. They want to take pressure off the rookie quarterback. I get all that. And if they do use him in the passing game the way Detroit used him, I mean, like Philadelphia just completely ignored his passing game ability. We know that DeAndre Swift has that. And so if he gets a lot of work and Caleb Williams dumping off to him, then great. We're all in on DeAndre Swift. The issue is, to your point, Rashawn Johnson and Khalil Herbert, both pretty talented running backs, both saw over 110 touches last year for this same coaching staff, right? For Matt Eberflus, at least, I should say. And then you think about this Titans defense, which the offense struggled last year, but the defense was pretty good. 6th fewest fantasy points to running back last season, top 5 in terms of fewest receptions and receiving yards allowed to running backs. So now you're banking on volume for DeAndre Swift. We just don't know how this backfield is going to play out. Feels like this is going to be a low-scoring game as well. Don't really love it. To me, it's Week 1. You have no bye issues. Other than Jonathan Brooks, you don't have any really injury issues at running back, and that's a known quantity. So my point is that you should not have to start Swift in a normal league. And so for me, I want to see how this Bears backfield plays out before I'm willing to start him in a week in which you should have everyone available to you.
Yeah, Jay, this is a game with 2 really young quarterbacks and 2 teams that we love the arm talent of Caleb Williams and even Will Levis, but I think both coaching staffs want to protect them a little bit here as well. It could just be kind of a slog, the entire matchup.
Yeah, and to add to Matthew's point around the uncertainty in the backfield, this might surprise some people, but on DraftKings, DeAndre Swift's rushing prop, it's only 41.5 rushing yards. And Khalil Herbert, 29.5. So that's one. They're both very low. They're closely bunched together. So Swift kind of becomes, is either passing game dependent, and we don't know what his usage is going to be there, or he's touchdown dependent. And I think the Titans, I think their defense is going to be better than last year. They're already a top 12 run defense in EPA per play last year. So I think that just the combination of the uncertainty, good run defense, and what could be an ugly game, I think you can probably do better than DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, Jeffrey Simmons, one of the best defensive tackles in the league, right in the middle of things for Tennessee. Matthew, the last running back that we'll go through on the hate list here, Jerome Ford against Dallas. There was a lot of excitement when Jerome Ford became a big waiver claim, obviously off the unfortunate news of Nick Chubb. But Jerome Ford overall wasn't that effective in fantasy, considering he was the starting Browns running back for a long time last year.
Under 15 points in 75% of his starts last season as well. By the way, once Nick Chubb went down, he saw only 27% of his team's red zone rushes. So the odds of him falling in the end zone aren't great. He's always got the ability to potentially break off a big play, but this game looks ugly to me. Give me the under in this game, Jay. Dallas allowed the 7th fewest fantasy points to opposing running backs last year. It's a great defense. CeeDee Lamb has been out of camp. Dak, the the numbers on him at home versus him on the road, really, really stark. And by the way, so Dak on the road isn't great. Cleveland's a very good home defense. They played very well. Deshaun Watson has looked awful this preseason. Is he 100% healthy? This just feels like two offenses that will likely struggle in this game going against two good offenses. Just feels like a low-scoring game. And so you've got Jerome Ford, who is going to be part of a committee here on an offense that I don't know that's going to be effective. Yuck. This is not a game I want. You're starting CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson. Of course you are. But Amari Cooper. But Njoku, I guess. But feels like this is a game where if you can avoid it, you want to.
Yeah, Jerome Ford, he's only set a 51.5 rushing yards on DraftKings, so he's probably going to be touchdown dependent. On the other hand, though, Connor, last year, the Cowboys' run defense, it wasn't great, completely melted down in the playoffs. They were last in the entire NFL in terms of rushing success rate allowed. They just didn't allow many big runs, so it kind of suppressed their overall. Do you think they're going to be better this year?
It's a huge question mark in two places, really the middle of the field. One, former first-rounder Mozzie Smith, he's got to turn the corner at nose tackle for them. Micah Parsons has even been kind of outspoken about this as well. They drafted him to be a big space-eating, two-gapping guy. He didn't provide that for them year one. Can he do it in year two? Then the guys behind him that aren't Micah Parsons. This team has questions at off-ball linebacker. I'm not ready to say it's a weakness yet, but it's a lot of unproven. So we're going to learn a lot about this unit real quickly in Dallas.
Yep, new defensive coordinator as well.
Yeah, who is very, very good. But, how much can you make up for talent deficiencies sometimes?
Yes, yeah. We'll see how he gets along with the players.
That too. Or if he just leaves.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.